making easy fried rice that comes together in under 15 minutes. He promises. Welcome back, internationally acclaimed chef and our good friend Daniel Green. Welcome back, man. Thanks for being here, buddy. Thanks for having me in the kitchen with you. I'm excited. Debbie, Ken, and Shirley also excited. They're digging in already.
So excited.
I mean, this is fantastic. And you say this is a great way, this dish is a great way to give leftovers a new life.
It is, but I don't ever remember the 15-minute promise.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, well, I mean, we just
10
did
to
it.
15.
We
okay.
just promised it.
We will. It is a really quick dish. And as you said, bringing things back to life that may be leftovers in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Even rice that's left over. You might have broccoli or carrots.
Okay.
You know, what do we do with them? Well, egg fried rice is a brilliant way to bring all this food back with great flavors and really interesting.
I feel like everybody loves it. Like, I feel it's always a crowd favorite.
Yeah.
Don't you think? It is. Okay, so we've already sauteed the shrimp.
We did.
And a little bit of olive oil. Love that you're using olive oil for that. Now we're going to hit it with some onions and some flavor, right?
Exactly. So those shrimp just cooked for about 30 seconds each side. And I know, Debbie, we've talked about olive oil using in frying. It doesn't always have the best heat retention. But you know what? When you're stir frying and quickly, I always have my go-to oil as an olive oil.
It's just so good for you, right? It really is. Okay.
It does. And this is like goes translucent in just about 30 seconds. So this cooks quickly. So what I've done here is a lot of ingredients that you might have in your refrigerator already. So you'll have eggs, you'll have rice, you might have soy sauce, and then kind of like just free flow. Go where whatever you kind of like the idea of.
Maybe you got some peas left over, things like that, right? We'll get to that in a minute. So you're going to add a little bit of garlic in there.
Just a little bit of garlic, and we don't want to burn that, so I just want to cook it for about, again, another 10 seconds or so.
And is that why you let the onions go in there first?
Absolutely.
Spend a little time, add the garlic after, so you don't want to burn that. And now here comes the egg. You want to scramble the egg in there. This is what makes the egg fried rice, or the
yes, absolutely.
fried rice so special.
It is very much inspired from a traditional Chinese egg fried rice. We put the egg in here. Now, of course, you could go any way with this. You could go vegan and not add the egg. You can do tofu. So you can start to really make it how you want. But this just, all you want to do is a slow cooking. Just get that egg so it's beautifully scrambled.
All coming together just like that.
Yeah.
Now, while we're waiting and you're adding some scallions here, what else could we use other than shrimp? I know we're having shrimp today, but what would you recommend?
So I have, again, done a very typically Chinese dish here using the shrimp. But you can definitely go the tofu route. It would be nice to add something like a salmon has got a really good texture.
Oh, I like that.
Chicken is really good as well. Turkey is great. I've done a few versions of that because of leftovers. So that's a fun way again. You know, you've got that turkey left over. It's one of those things when you do cook it, there's a lot more of it.
Right.
So throw that in. There's no problem with the kind of proteins. The only thing I don't really love with it is the beefs.
Okay.
So I'd stay away more from the red beefs and, you know. The
Okay, very good. So we got, you know, variation of protein as well as the veggies. And here comes, you know, kind of the star of the dish, obviously, our rice. What kind of rice would you recommend people using?
Okay, so my favorite and what we're using here is a jasmine rice. There's many different rices you could use. There's really no rules against using a brown rice. Throughout the region of Asia, even the Japanese egg fried rice has got a sushi rice. The only thing I wouldn't suggest is a risotto, the arborio rice, because the way you have to cook that separately, it would be stuck together.
Okay, good.
Now, I've always been told that it's better to use cold, old rice than fresh rice.
You know, I would definitely let the rice cool down because you know what will happen is it will be easier to stir fry and incorporate all of the other ingredients there. But also if you're using cold from the fridge, it's just the perfect way to use that leftover rice.
The leftover rice, so it can be leftover as well. But if you make it fresh, you want it to cool down before you add it to this because it could get a little mushy, right?
Exactly. You never want to ever overcook it. That's the thing, is once you overcook it, it really does kind of change the dimension of this. Then frozen peas, what you can do is add them straight from frozen because if you throw them in, they're already cooked. They're just going to thaw out.
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm helping so much. I'm just making sure he's going through it right. I'm watching you closely.
Your ability to cook Asian food is really second to none. And would you say it has to do a lot with your extensive travels through Asia?
You know, when I first started cooking about 25 years ago, I was thrown in a kitchen in Hong Kong, and it's these huge big woks and the fire, and you learn fast. It's a different kind of cooking. So it's always been my passion is this fast cooking and this really, you know, kind of everything can be done on a stovetop. So it definitely has got a lot of passion for me to be able to cook this way for sure. But I love the fact that these rices can change so much. I've done a lot of work in Malaysia. You've got the nasi goreng, which is a egg fried rice with a fried egg on top. And then you've got Korean rice with the gochujang chili sauce, and that just brings another dimension.
Oh, yeah.
So,
there it is. And now we've got the three sauces. Tell us about what these three sauces you're using here.
So we've got a soy sauce. which hopefully everyone's got. That's the main ingredient that you really need. Anything else you can kind of adapt. Then we put a little bit of oyster sauce.
Oyster sauce, too.
Yeah. Now, it's not one of those ingredients that's great on its own, a little bit like fish sauce, but once you start adding it to other things, it's brilliant.
Okay,
umami.
very good.
And then here, if you just want to give, this is my favorite. So think about this, white truffle oil. What that is to the Mediterranean cuisine, this is to the Asian cuisine. Sesame oil. But a lot less expensive. So it's kind of like that white truffle oil, and it just on its own has got such a flavour, and just brings this food to.
If you didn't have one of these three sauces, is there one that you could get away with not using?
Cameron, what I would take away is the oyster sauce. I think that's probably the one you could get away with the most.
Okay.
Definitely the sesame oil is the key. I think the soy sauce is brilliant, but add some chili. You know, there's really a lot of people follow recipes, but in this kind of thing, I think there's no rules. I think you really can throw anything in here that you like.
You have to
love it, and you have.
So good.
And we promise in less than 15 minutes, and we are far inside that time. Let me tell you that right now.
How beautiful that is.
Look how good it is.
And then what we'll do is we'll.
Can I help out with anything else?
You can help.
I've been so helpful.
That's such a great
A
job.
few scallions would be great. Shadi,
of these?
thank you for dressing for the occasion with a little bit of an Asian.
Do you want me to add these on top? How are we doing here?
Yep, when I pop this in here,
Got it.
I would like that. Do you know the other thing you can do is if you've got a little Chinese porcelain bowl or a ramekin, you can pop it in there and then empty it straight out onto
So
a
it's
plate.
like a little
So if you want to go fancy,
Have it just a little like that?
that's it, exactly.
All right, you guys
Perfect.
dig in.
All right,
That's
I'm gonna dig
delicious.
in.
Try that, Daniel.
thank
You're going to
you.
love it. How'd Cameron do?
Oh, Cameron.
You're right. Man, that just
Dan,
all
you're
comes
so
together.